It is relegation day again, the final mid-season one of the year, and what a venue to do it at. We head to Europe for the first time this season, the Rhineland-Palatinate in Germany, located in the Eifel Mountains, a ribbon of racetrack known as the Nürburgring, just down the road from our GT Pro commentator Rene Butler as well. So a home circuit, in a sense, for rFactor 2. The GP Loop we race on today was opened back in 1984, and it's in a whole host of different series racing it, the fastest open wheelers in the world, touring cars, and of course the GTs we race in today. It's time for round 4 of the rFactor 2 GT Challenge series powered by VCO Esports, and commentary from myself, Lewis McGlade, alongside me, Aidan Millward.
Yeah, it's great to be back in Europe at a track that's very familiar to rFactor 2 users and viewers by now, I would have thought. The Nürburgring GP circuit with the fast final chicane as opposed to the heavy braking zone at the end of the track that we normally see when those fast open wheelers that you describe them as travel here. So it's going to be pretty brave if people are going to try and launch it in from far back into that.
It is an extremely difficult circuit to pass at. We'll see some bold moves into T1 and potentially the odd one into that fast chicane. Aidan, it is quite a tricky one. With that, effectively a reduced overtaking scenario in the tightest chicane, you can kind of do it maybe into the hairpin as well. It could make things a little bit tricky and mean that track position will be king in that feature race.
Oh yeah, it will be. You've obviously got turn 1, which is a ultra heavy braking zone. I did a race. Well, I say I did a race in a GT4 around here, and just GT3s throwing it up the inside into there. But it's just GT3s in this series, so they don't need to worry about slower traffic. They've just got to worry about each other as we now look at the points of interest around this track. What's going to be the one that comes at first? Well, it's going to be the start-finish race. So, yep, that run towards turn 1. It's downhill. It's actually a blind apex there as well. There will be a bollard telling you that there is an apex that exists, but it'll probably be gone on the first lap. Then the Michael Schumacher S, named after the unfortunately second greatest Formula 1 driver of all time, and then the RTL bit curve.
You had to.
And which at that corner there is a great overtaking spot, and there is that fast chicane that we were talking about that the cars are going to be throwing themselves into.
The NGK chicane, the Vidal chicane, the final chicane, whatever name you want to put on it. There is quite a challenge to wrestle your way through. In practice, coming into this, you'd never guess who was on top. Of course, it was Mikael Smedel, who is running away with things when it comes to the championship. We'll get down into that later. We focus on the qualifying session for those of you joining us for the first time in the rFactor 2 GT Challenge Series powered by VCO. It is a private qualifying session. The time on the clock, it is the circuit to themselves. They do as many laps as they wish, but it is just them and the circuit, the ultimate test to see who can reach the limit of the car. Louis-Philippe Capamachan, after a front row last time out, I think actually front row the round out before. I don't know if he's still under probation, of course. I believe so. Was under probation last round after a few incidents back in Portland. Now goes up onto provisional pole position. We're waiting to see that lap time from Mikael Smedel. He's not set one yet. Comes down into the hairpin. Purple in the first sector. He is ridiculously fast, having taken the last couple of pole positions. Didn't get pole position back in Sebring, though, Aidan, interestingly enough.
No, he didn't.
His teammate did, though.
His teammate did. Yeah, it's so Smedel is a rapid driver as he throws it into the left-hander here that will lead onto the sort of long right-hander, slightly banked, and once he hit the apex, just absolutely gun it, and then through the kink, which will be taken flat out in these cars. Try to keep it off the curb if you can, because you don't want to upset the balance of the car. And here is that super fast chicane. He's 2.5 tenths up through sector 2, purple, and you could bet some good money that it'll be purple when he crosses the line after this final turn 15.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Not much longer, though, towards that line. Currently a 49.3, and there we go. A 48.859.
That's
from
quick.
Mikael Smedel. That is monster fast. What was the GT Pro time around here? That must have been around. It was a 148.6. On that time, he would have qualified third in GT Pro.
What's he doing here?
Well, he didn't do last season, so he's got to go the long way through.
The long way through, yeah.
The grid being thrown about a bit there. Turkat Hakkinen moving up to 6th. Timotej Antonovsky, Ibrahim Khan, another good qualifying session from him up to 3rd place, with Luca Di Melio in 4th. A few lap times coming in. Here's Rory McDuff a little bit further down the order. Not had a strong season, has the American. The opening 3 rounds on home soil did not go his way. Currently down in 18th place. Moves up inside the top 10. Strongest qualifying session of the season so far.
Yep, Jordi Sveers coming through the final corner in the out of favour Ferrari. Although this Ferrari is doing wonders in the feature race. So maybe some sandbagging going on for the BOP, but no, that's just a conspiracy. We don't really want to think about that. It's all fair in this series. Paul August Lana in the Corvette, which is the preferred car because of the way it handles. Very balanced car through the final corner. He's lost a big chunk of time through that middle sector. He's a second off the pace. And he'll come across the line and 10th off in the final sector, 150.
I believe he's also lost a teammate because we can't see Paulie Ahonen on the server for Volante Racing. So we are down a few drivers today. The likes of our opening pollster to Yuri Toman, who was involved in a couple of incidents in the previous round, retired from the race, and we think that was a bit of an RQ rage quit from the season. We ride on board with Jakubovic.
Was that was close to being deleted, the way he took quite a lot of curve through there. It's still on though. The time's still ticking, so if it had been deleted, it would have gone off. But he's still half a second ish off the pace at the minute.
Could be somewhere inside the lower ends of the top 10 if he nails the final chicane, but it's absolute commitment, and also in the massively unfavourable split. Oh, there we go. There was massive commitment, but a little bit too much.
Roy McDuff in 9th though.
Yeah, he's done well. Turkat Hakkinen's come out of the final corner. So for Nita Velix, things are starting to look a little bit better. They are down a driver today. Herman Stocky was one of the drivers who was supposed to be on the grid. After having been promoted from Server 2 up to Server 1, unfortunately, unable to make it today, courtesy of a health issue. So we wish him the best recovery for the Italian. Immense speed from him, so we'd like to see him back on the grid at some point soon. Unfortunately, though, with it being a relegation round, he'll be dropping back into Server 2 almost regardless of what happens. Miguel de los Rios, one of the drivers that was also promoted from Server 2 into Server 1 last round, absolutely dominated in Server 2. Had good pace, but unfortunately not the races to go with it back in Virginia. Down to 23rd, though, that's not really impressive, is it?
Not at all, no. So Miguel de los Rios, this lap's looking pretty decent though. He's about 3/10 off the pace if he can keep it under control through the final chicane here. Hammering those curbs.
That's pretty nice.
Use the red and white on the outside. Swing it in. Very tricky final corner to get the power on. Too early, he's going to steer off. Too late, you're going to compromise your straight line speed. 149.8. That's put him into 9th, so he's well in the top 10 here.
Not bad, not bad. Smeedle was purple in that middle sector. Just saw that as he came across. Did not fancy it. Wants to get out there for a final run. It's going to be pretty tight for that final run, but should have enough time. You need about 3 minutes and 40 seconds to do the outlap and then do the time lap. Although if you're Mikael Smeedle, you need about 3 minutes because he's that fast. Kasper Stolzer, we're on board with his teammates. Alan Terzic yet to actually qualify, down in 23rd place, just coming through the final corner now. What's Kasper Stolzer going to do as he crosses the line? 12th place is all he can do. Alan Terzic goes to only 14th. Oh, that's not very good. Matt Richards moves himself inside the top 10. So the top of the Jean Lacey Esports Academy drivers, as they're down a driver as well. Mohammed Patel is not on the grid today. So the 4 horsemen is not 4. It is down to 3. Jordi Sveers, who's currently up in 7th position, complaining of a headache coming into this. And he was saying it's quite a bad one as well. And I don't believe that's just an excuse. I think he is actually struggling with that. Luke D'Amelio onto the front row of the grid. Dan Kell up to 13th. Good
that's
qualifying.
A good lap.
Get in there, Kell. What was it that you said before the broadcast?
What, for whom the Kell tolls?
Good boy.
That's,
Sorry.
That doesn't even have any context.
No, it doesn't, and I don't mind. I do not mind. Vlad Tokarev, we saw there. Louis Philippe Capinjan trying to get back on the front row, and he should be able to do it on this lap, Aiden. It looks really good.
Yeah, just a reminder, though, once the timer goes to 0, that's it. Qualifying is over. If you're on a lap, you're out of luck, really.
I kind of forgot about that. I'd gone into autopilot of just being like, yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, no, of course, as soon as we hit 0, the session is done. That's why you needed to go out with 3 minutes and 150 odd because you need to get there before the checker flag. Looking a little bit better for the Blackhawk driver. Still a fair way down. The Porsche, respectfully, it's jank at the moment. It's certainly a car which needs to be wrestled, this Porsche, and I don't think many people are up to it. They've given it a good go, and so respect to Jakubovic and to Terzi as well, who's also in the Porsche. But it's hard work. We'll give him credit for that.
It's almost brand loyalty at this point, isn't it? As it's overcooked it again through there, but it's the time's still legal. Just kept it alive.
How.
Kept it alive through there. That was almost a huge accident. Ooh. He's messed up the exit as well, straight to the line. It's
yeah.
Okay, that was cancelled out.
Yeah, not ideal.
Speedle's going even faster.
Okay, right. We're gonna pull the number. What was the pole time from GT Pro round here? Because I believe it was a 0.6. Can Mikkel Smeedel beat the GT Pro pole time? And we know that's what he's gunning for. It's a 46 there. Yeah, there's definitely a cut there. At least on the exit anyway.
Oh, okay. First slow-mo of the evening.
Tick. The patented Ruben Carrera-Alves slow-mos. We've got to get loads of them, especially if we get any rain. There's a slight chance of rain, but I think it's very, very minor. We're not going to get it. We're 30%. Not going to get. Yeah, we're not going to get the lap time that we were hoping for. We're not going to get that 46.6. As he's a few tenths down in the first. So it could still improve, but we'll have to wait and see. Current top 5, we've got Smeedel, Philippe Capamajan. Oh, big snap. Same front row as it was last time. And then Luca D'Amelio and Ibrahim Khan for Zancho Simsport on the second row. Khan is not going to be able to finish this lap. Paul Auguste Lana will be able to, though.
Be cutting it pretty fine, I think.
He will just about do it based on... Oh, yeah, no, you're right. It will be... Oh, no, you're right. It's too tight. Oh, you're all right at this.
Yeah. Commentator's eye, huh?
Oh, I see. Is that what it is?
He's just made it, though.
He just made it before it was absolutely smashed across the 23 drivers, then completing qualifying here at the Nürburgring. The first race, the sprint race, coming up shortly after this, and well, who'd have guessed it? Mikkel Smeedel on the front row, on the pole position, yet again, the third consecutive one for our championship leader, with Philippe Capamajan behind him, D'Amelio and Khan behind. Good qualifying for the Zancho pair again. Those two have been very, very good value when it comes to their qualifying. Andonovski, Turka Hakkinen, nice one from him. Same from Jordi Sveers as well.
Advancing to race.
I think the Ferrari, though, may actually struggle a little bit more around here than normal, as it doesn't have the advantage in the straight lines. Sarah Eriksson and Ilias Fernandez, our top 10 as we head into the sprint race. The Ferrari really is an advantage on the longer straights. And so around here, to be fair, to have wrestled that kind of time out of it, that is not bad. The rest of the order, Miguel de los Rios ended up in 11th place for him. Matt Richards was 12th, which is not ideal for a driver who's kind of up there in the championship. He's inside the top 5. Have a look. The DX Droids. Speaking of Miguel de los Rios, they have got drivers all over the place in this. Obviously 4 drivers in this series, and they're all quite close to each other, because Ilias Fernandez and Miguel de los Rios 10th and 11th, and they are quite a strong team. David Serra as well, not too far ahead of that. It's a good team to be a part of, and it's a team that seems to have almost come out of nowhere. They're very strong now, aren't they?
Yeah, they were a team that I hadn't heard of before this season started, but still managing to get there in the right areas of the right areas of the right areas of the grid.
Absolutely. Well, here's the format then, and this is important for today. The bottom 5 drivers in the GT Challenge Split 1 will move down into Split 2 today. So the bottom in the championship, it's kind of split up into round sections. We can all get into that later, don't worry. But we will keep you up to date as to some of the drivers. With drivers missing today, though, we've almost kind of already got a good idea of roughly who it will be. But either way, 5 drivers will be departing split 1. Those bottom 5 at the moment, Martin Hemmingson, not here, will be dropping down. Jack McIntyre, not here, will be dropping down. In fact, actually, I'm pretty sure we have got this. And then Paulie Ahonen, Yuri Toman, and Paul August Lana also not here. There are a couple, though, that are down in that sort of area that are a little bit of a struggle. The grid there just popping up on screen. Louis-Philippe Capmachan and Mikhail Smedel, our front row of the grid, from Luca D'Amelio and Ibrahim Khan. This is for the sprint race. Again, top 10 reversed for that feature. Straight after qualifying, though, it is Smedel again. Behind that, Timotej Andonovski and Turka Hakkinen. Great qualifying session from the Nita Velix driver, up in that 6th place. Jordi Zviers for Jean Lacey Esports, the highest Ferrari and the highest non-Callaway in the Callaway Cup, with David Serra in behind. Jesper Eriksson, Ilias Fernandez, Miguel de los Rios, and Matt Rich is a little bit disappointing there for the driver inside the top 5, but we would expect him to move up. He is driving on a monitor he's not normally used to, though, and it's not exactly a high-quality one. Rory McDuff, best qualifying session of the season. Same with Dan Kell, 13th and 14th on the 7th row of the grid. Then the 2 Jean Lacey Esports Academy drivers of Kasper Stoltz and Alan Terzic, missing Mohamed Patel for the Jean Lacey Esports Academy squad. Then Juan Carlos Fernandez with Vlad Tokarev and that Aston. Nick Jacobs a little bit further down than we'd expect with Donat Prodon in the Volante driver. They're also missing one. Way from Esports, Andrea Terzi for them, and Blackhawk Racing. So we've got an all Porsche road down towards the back end of the grid, and Paul August Lana, expect him to move up as he's not particularly qualified well there, the Estonian. But we would kind of expect with some of these paces, we're going to see this order chop and change, and we'd hope not to see too much chaos down into that first corner.
Yeah, hopefully not a repeat of the carnage out at Virginia, as Mikhail Smedel is now leading the grid through the little kink on the back stretch towards the chicane, and then he will basically take over, and it'll be down to him when he decides to go.
It wasn't particularly penalty heavy afterwards.
No, it wasn't.
But I think it was more, because not many people reported, I think it was more down to drivers got a slap on the wrist from our race directors rather than anything else. Wow.
Although they will start applying penalties that will ruin races.
Absolutely. And to be fair, I believe we kind of need to do that to start tidying this stuff up. We'll keep our fingers crossed as we pass the halfway point then in the rFactor 2 GT Challenge Series, powered by VCO Esports. Out of the final corner, ready to start the sprint race here at the Nürburgring. That is quite a lead that Louis-Philippe Capmachan is taking there. And that has cost him from Mikhail Smedel as the 2 Sanchos come together. Oh, that was Luca D'Amelio and Ibrahim Khan just coming together a little bit there on the 2nd row. D'Amelio trying to make a run around the outside of Louis-Philippe Capmachan. Mikhail Smedel's running clear into the distance with Turka Hakkinen trying to challenge for the podium as well. He's on the inside of the 2 Sancho drivers, not able to do anything. Jordi Zviers out of nowhere into the top 5. Massive headache? I don't think so. He's doing fantastic. Up to 5th place. The 2 Sancho drivers squabbling over the podium. Philippe Capmachan, Timotej Andonovski diving it down the inside of the Dutchman, with Turk Hakkinen as well, firing it down on his old teammate. Oh my goodness me, leaving the arena section. We've got contact galore. No one spinning around, at least inside the top 10 from what I can see. Oh, as Andonovski's looking to the inside, Ilias Fernandez trying to go around the outside, heading down the hill into the full curve, onto the backstretch, down towards Dunlop. Clean start though from Smedel.
Yeah, I think Jordi Zviers must have popped a couple of paracetamol on the formation because he just went for it. Or maybe he's trying to drive faster so it's over quicker. But yeah, no carnage on the first lap. Miguel de los Rios, David Serra swapping places backwards and forwards a little bit further back as they come out the hairpin up towards the Schumacher S for the first time. And someone's... Oh, what's going on behind there? That's about 4 wide going into the Schumacher S. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Still no crashes. Yeah,
Kasper Stoltz had just hit the back of Matt Richards as well, and now he's about to be overtaken by his teammate. He's diving it down the inside of the Welshman. No, there's near contact. Oh, and he's going to spin Matt Richards. Good hands from Matt Richards there as it was just sort of left down the inside. You've also got Dan Kell and Rory McDuff battling it out in the background of this. Matt Richards hangs on Kasper Stoltz or Alan Terzic. Rory McDuff and Dan Kell going side by side through the Ad Van Ark up towards the Vidal chicane. Is looking to the inside. Oh, Kasper Stoltz as well was leaving it there. Is Dan Kell on the inside of the American. Oh my goodness me, it is feisty out there today. Looks pretty clean though. Kasper Stolz are desperate to get by the Welshman ahead of this. That battle for 12th place, it's just allowing a massive gap to fall between Miguel de los Rios and Matt Richards. They just need to calm down and stop fighting a little bit. Oh, as we've got side by side even further back from this. Kasper Stolz to the inside of Matt Richards for 12th place. Should be a pretty easy move. I think Terzic as well is trying to be a part of this. This is a little bit further down with Donat Prodon. Oh my goodness, Aidan, it is mental out there.
This is the racer we want. We don't want anyone getting biffed off. This is the racer we want.
Absolutely. I think Matt Richards and Kasper Stolzer are still battling over. This is costing
a bit of a
them
wobble
seconds.
from Stolzer.
This is costing them seconds. They need to rein it in a bit, because it is costing them so much time. Now the two teammates are going side by side as Alan Terzic is just trying to make a fantastic move around the outside. Not so much as well behind this. Rory McDuff, ex-teammates for Kasper Stolzer and Alan Terzic, once they were part of Singularity / Nita Velux back in the day, and Dankel, the Zancho battle between Nita Velux and John Lacey Esports Academy. It's all still there. I'm sure they'll be firing shots behind the scenes. They're not. They're all right these days. It's all good.
It's a friendly rivalry rather than one of absolute hatred.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Dennis Lind and his squad. They've done good things of coming back from almost staring into the abyss a little bit. They've done a good job. And they're certainly coming back and moving their way back forward. And with some of the drivers they've got these days, it's a shame that Herman Stocky wasn't able to do. Again, thoughts making sure that he's all right. But they're still a very strong outfit, and battling it with a squad as strong as the John Lacey Esports Academy. It's going well for them. Speaking of the order, though, Mikhail Smedel, Louis-Philippe Capamajan, the top two, running away from Luke D'Amelio and Ibrahim Khan, who were squabbling over on that first lap. And then Jordi Sveers, Turka Hakkinen, who's inside that top six, doing a fantastic job, staring at the back of one of his old teammates, Elias Fernandez, Timotej Antonovsky. Timotej Antonovsky's just nearly spun Elias Fernandez there. Oh, that was a little bit dicey. Jesper Eriksson, who just skipped away from the jaws of the relegation last time, now up in 9th place with David Serra behind.
Yeah, very rightfully backed out of that after the contact, because that would have been a bump and run, and that's not good. That's Donat Prodon gets a bit of a nudge up the back from Roman Kubovic, and now loses the position to Nick Jacobs in the Scuderia Leone Corvette. Even all the way through the field, there's something going on.
It's been pretty crazy when you consider things for the Nürburgring. It's been a pretty feisty open to the race, and here's the replay of it. Talk us through it.
Right, so this is Jordi Sveers just firing it in from far back and sweeping around the outside to take a position there.
To be fair, really nicely judged open to the race there for Jordi to be inside the top 5. Again, a reminder, the important thing with this race, with 9 minutes left on the clock, the top 10 will be reversed for the feature race. So that 10th place that's currently being held by David Serra is incredibly important, because it can define your evening, whether you start 11th place, 12th, 13th, or on the pole. It's such a big difference. Roy McDuff and Dankel battling it out behind this. To be fair, the fact that they're keeping up, I think Matt Richards is struggling for pace. And to be fair, I don't really blame him. He's racing on a monitor that is TV. Let's go with it like that. There's a bit of delay on it. And it's also, for those of you that know your pixels and stuff, it's 1366 by 768. So he's counting them, the pixels, and trying to judge whilst with squinty eyes where the apex is. The two John Lacey Esports Academy drivers going side by side behind this is Alan Terzic, who's gone down the inside into T1. Kasper Stolzer backs out of it. So those two that are still up there in the championship, Matt Richards and Alan Terzic, both inside the top 5 at the moment. When you consider where Smedel, where Jordi Sveers, where Luke D'Amelio is, they are way up the order. Another driver, actually, by the way, that's missing, I found out, is the 7th and final one. Matthew Williams isn't here today. Did wonder. Yeah, absolutely. So the drivers missing today: Matthew Williams, Mohamed Patel, Herman Stock, Yuri Toman, Paul Ihonen, Jack McIntyre, and Martin Hemmingson. The 7 drivers missing today. A bit of a shame there for Matthew Williams.
Well, Jonas Ravio in chat has just said that Matt Richards is carrying some damage, so that's going to be slowing him down, but still managing to keep Alan Terzic behind him, so fair play to him for that.
He did get quite the large bonk from Casper going into the Schumacher S on the first lap. So that's where that damage has come from, at least by my assumption, which I'm pretty sure he'll be extremely frustrated by, knowing that. It's not ideal. It was quite, like I said, it was quite a large hit. Oh, it was running wide. There, Alan Terzic onto the back straight through the Ad Van Ark. Is he going to try something up here with the straight line speed of that Ferrari? He's gone to the outside into the Vidal chicane. Oh, Matt Richards is kind of leaving it there. Oh, Matt, why would you do that? Why would you kind of leave it there? That's the wrong choice to make.
He's going to lose a position here to Rory. And Dan Cowell's going to be sniffing around the back of that Corvette as well, wanting another position.
With the overspeed that Alan Terzic had there, I would not really have thought that one. Now, Kasper Stolz has got through on the Slovenian. Terzic, though, will head back to the inside, and Rory McDuff will be having to defend from the Welshman behind. Not the Welsh lad, mind. Someone else. Kasper Stolz defending. They've got to do a lot of work, though, to catch 11th place and catch a potential reverse grid. Because considering all of the battling they've been doing, it's now 3.5 seconds down the road. It's a massive distance that they have to close down.
Huge. Oh,
Stolz
are off.
See you, Casper.
That's not the optimal line through there.
And now he's squeezing Rory a little bit. My goodness me. That would be classified as not ideal. Not the racing line. Oh, that was a little silly from Matt Richards, who almost returns the off the way. And now they squeeze each other off the road. Rory McDuff's going to drop the position to Matt Richards. Dan Cowell's going to try and come through and get squeezed by Rory McDuff.
My goodness, he's been launched off the track.
And now Juan Carlos Fernandez is going to get through. Vlad Tokarev's going to get through. That was a little bit naughty from more than one person. Oh, and now Matt. Oh, no. There's been contact behind. Dan Cowell hits the Ferrari of Donat Prodan. Nick Jacobs now comes across on Roman Jakobovic. Oh, my goodness. What has happened to this race? What a disastrous few corners back here. Oh, my God. Virginia, eat your heart out.
Well, it took 10 minutes to get to this point rather than 1.5. So we've done a lot better this time round. As looking at Paul August Lana going through the final corner here.
Yeah, banging your head against your desk in a moment. Andonovski on board with on the back of Ilias Fernandez. These two have made a little bit of contact at that corner earlier in the race, although finding that overtaking around the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit's pretty difficult. Now to the inside, going into the first corner. Juan Carlos Fernandez on the inside of Rory McDuff. He's going to try and go for the cutback. You've got the Unison Racing of Vlad Tokarev in that Aston Martin directly behind, who we now ride on board with. To the inside, Juan Carlos Fernandez looking on me. Oh, that was a nice move. Good dive from the Spaniard, and that's a good move for the DX Droids driver. We've got a yellow flag out in Sector 1. That would be Donat Prodan.
Oh, I just lost the rear going through turn 4 here.
This could be a really long replay if we were to ride all the way through and all this, and I wonder if our broadcast director's going to let us know. It's not. We're going to cut away from that smart move because it goes on. Good move from Carlos Fernandez, though. That was a dicey one into the final part of the arena section. I think now that, by the way, Stolz have got the same hit that Matt Richards received. They've both got similar rear end damage because they're now both pretty much the same speed. So, you're to and fro. Andonovski trying to get by for 7th place on Fernandez. Would you fight it that hard, though? Because let's be honest, it's now another position you've got to get through in the feature race as we go side by side through Ad Van Ark. Oh, Andonovski should be able to do it. Here he goes. And Andonovski, 7th place. Not long left on the clock, though, Eden.
No, a couple more laps. There's a replay of Jakubovic.
Oh, this Dan Cowell, Danny boy, Dano. Oh, I mean, the Ferrari comes across on him a little bit. And does
thwack.
That was a bit of a threat. Yeah, but watch this bit. Oh, Nick Jacobs.
Yeah, that's naughty.
That is not. I don't think Nick Jacobs was completely aware as to where Jakobovic was. I think, though, with the Dan Cowell one, I'd almost say that Donat Prodan came across in front and then started braking, which is pretty naughty. Lewis Hamilton did it in the 2013 Brazilian Grand Prix. the Caterham, I think, and you kind of get what you ask for in that sense. Because
if you chop across another driver and then hit your brakes, don't cry when you've been smashed up the back.
The reason we say that is because at that point, and it's not just the whole Sancho bias thing. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. We're on board with Dan Kell. Now let's kind of watch this. So he gets squeezed off a little bit by Rory McDuff, which is a little naughty considering you could consider the momentum that Dan Kell's on at the moment. But argy-bargy, 50-50, whatever. Do what you wish. It's this bit though. It's whether Dan Kell has committed on the brakes before. No, I think he might have. Just missed time at that. I don't know. I'd say it's.
Yeah, you got to take in his reaction times as well if he's trying to see what else is going on. And
Precisely.
I mean, something similar to that happened in a touring car league that we compete in. Oh, someone's
Juan
died.
Carlos Fernandez and Matt Richards going side by side, and now Juan Carlos Fernandez, Matt Richards dropping way down the order, down in 15th place. That damage is really, really hurting the Welshman. Now Rory McDuff's on his 6th. We're about to start the final lap of the race. Jesper Eriksson's trying to get by Elias Fernandez now. Mikael Smedal's completely untroubled out front, as you'd kind of expect. Turka Hakkonen's not been able to get through on Jordi's Veers, that powery Ferrari. Oh, Matt Richards is dropping it down the inside. That's so silly from Matt Richards. Oh, my goodness me. He's left it down the inside of the final corner. We're okay, though. No one spun. Can we go back to that, though? Because I think we're going to see some 3 wide. Oh, my goodness me.
We might get some 4.
Yeah, here comes Rory McDuff trying to go to the outside. Juan Carlos Fernandez. Matt Richards is going to hit the back of Juan Carlos Fernandez. Just a little bit of contact between the two. Now he's going to squeeze out as the DX Droids driver. The Neat Develix man of Rory McDuff. Vlad Tokarev trying to get through in the unfavoured Aston Martin. Final lap of the race, a reminder. And they are dicey back here.
It's all kicking off, isn't it? We've got another 45-minute race coming after this, and Matt Richards isn't going to be happy starting that far down the grid as we now watch a replay going into the final corner as he fires it in like a sadist.
Yeah, that's a bit silly in my opinion. That's not ideal.
That's a touring car move.
That move was not on, thus proving that it is a touring car move, because if it's not on but they're still trying it, it's a touring car move.
He is a touring car driver though.
Absolutely. Turka Hakkonen's got a cut on this lap, by the way, on the back of Jordi's Veers, that battle for 5th place that Jordi, the Dutchman's been able to hang on to. You can see some damage on the front left of Matt Richards. There's that battle for 5th place. Turka Hakkonen applying as much pressure to his old...
Matt almost lost the rear end going through the Schumacher S.
I don't blame him. With the damage on that car, I do not blame him. He's a good job he's got a direct drive wheel, has Matt Richards. Final corner, though. Here he comes. Mikael Smedal. Yeah.
To the surprise of nobody.
Absolutely not a single person. It'll be his 4th race victory in the rFactor 2 GT Challenge Series powered by VCO. And it's the 4th race win in the sprint races for him. Every single one goes the way of Smedal. Vlad Tokarev trying to battle it out with Matt Richards. As coming across the line, Louis-Philippe Capmajan with yet another podium as well leads over Luca D'Amelio. I say yet another podium. It's only his 2nd podium is Louis-Philippe Capmajan, because he looked so strong all the way through the Virginia International Raceway's opening race until there was an incident coming down into the roller coaster a few laps to the end. And yeah, well, there we go. Also important to note that Miguel de los Rios in that 10th place, going to be getting that reverse grid pole. Said that his qualifying didn't look too great until a little bit later in the session. Now slams it onto 10th place in the reverse grid pole. It's going to be a DX Droids. You can see it there. A DX Droids 1, 2, 3 on the grid. So our finishes then. Smedal, Louis-Philippe Capmajan and Luca D'Amelio on the podium. Ibrahim Khan, good drive to him into 4th place, and a great start to the race from Jordi's Veers. He's going to want to repeat that again. 5th place for him. Turka Hakkonen, Timotej Antonovsky, and then that DX Droids trio of Elias Fernandez, David Serra, and Miguel de los Rios. 11th place, Alan Terzic, after he only finished, by the way, a 10th behind Miguel de los Rios at the end of that race, proving that the Ferrari's end race pace looks pretty handy, as we would suspect. It'll be from 11th and 12th place. On the grid, it'll be 2 Jean Alesi Esports Academy drivers. They weren't able to get themselves inside the top 10, and so 11th and 12th is all they can do. Juan Carlos Fernandez, Roy McDuff, and Matt Richards, the top 15, and Vlad Tokarev and Nick Jacobs, our 17 runners and point scorers. Then Paul August Lana, Dan Kell, only 19th place after what was looking like such a good race. Andrea Terzi, Roman Kopovic, and Donat Prodan, with Jesper Eriksson, our final finisher on the grid, and be starting from last place in that feature race. Mikael Smedel, though, another dominant drive in the sprint race. Can he do it again in the feature? Can he work his way up the order around such a difficult track to overtake?
Well, you've got Smedel, Terzic, Zviers, 10th, 11th, 12th. That's going to be fun into turn one. Stolzer, sorry. Into turn one.
I'll just correct you. It's fine. It's my thing.
It's your thing. There we go. It's just popped up on the screen. Ignore me.
Are we looking at the same numbers, though? 11th, 12th, 13th, 13th, 15th, 15th.
Oh.
Goodness me. Terrible. See, just correcting everyone now. I'm just a really bad person. I was like looking at Dan Kell when he was like, he's in 19th, which means that that's not quite right because Dan Kell did actually finish.
Maybe it was a draw. Everyone's a winner.
Who knows? That's our rough finishes anyway. We'll roll with that. The provisional finishes to the sprint race. We've got the feature race coming up though. 45 minutes. We've passed the halfway point of the season here at the Nürburgring. Still a couple more rounds to go when it comes to the championship. Of course, when it comes to the drop scores, we've got that relegation to talk about, haven't we, Aidan? But with 7 drivers missing here. Again, I spoke in the previous earlier in the broadcast that the likes of Hemmingsen, McIntyre, Paulie Ahonen, and Jiri Toman, those 4 are definitely being dropped because they're not here today and they're already in the bottom 5. So we're losing Hemmingsen, McIntyre, Ahonen, and Toman. Who would the other one be, though? Herman Stocky, probably.
Yeah.
Dependent on where their point scores have been. We're losing 5 regardless. I believe it would be Herman Stocky, by the way.
I think the bigger question is who's coming up.
It's a bit of a shame there. It is a bigger question, but I've not received any details there from what's happened in race 1 over in Split 2 because I don't think it's actually finished yet. For our broadcast director, though, coming into it, Scuderia Ian Veltons is currently topping Split 2 with Paul Holt behind, Georgi Nadev and Giancarlo Velarde and Chris Shepherd. Said about Chris Shepherd dropping down, although I think he's had issues getting onto the server, so I'm not sure if he's in that race. We'll only find out when we actually get to it, but it's looking pretty good, at least for 2 or 3 of those 5 that I've listed there to move themselves up.
Stick around because we'll be joining the final 5 minutes of Split 2 after the 45-minute race coming up.
And considering the quality of the VIR, the Split 1 race was pretty pants. Let's go with that. We jumped down to Split 2. Actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll move this to a Split 2 broadcast if they act up in the feature race, shall we? Oh, that's heartbreaking. Why do it have to be Stacks racing?
He's not even here.
Oh, no. Matthew Williams. Oh, dear. You might see a shadow bounty in chat, and that will be a Mr. Matthew Williams, who has been impressive, at least on pace and stuff, over the opening couple of rounds. Hasn't had the luck to go with it. Looked so good in VIR in that feature race until Terzic's move on Smedel, then dropped Smedel into the path of Matthew Williams. Unfortunately, not here today. Up there in 6th place in the standings for Stacks Racing. Bit of a shame there. Either way, our focus on our calendar, Nürburgring, Indianapolis, Spa to end the season. We're closing in, Aidan, on that final part of the season and who's going to be our champion.
I think you'd put good money on it being Smedel at this point, wouldn't you?
You would, but you can't rule it out. Again,
No,
so this is the thing, is that we went into VIR, for those of you that weren't there with us, with 2 drivers under probation after driving at Portland. One of them was Louis-Philippe Capamajan, and the other one was Mikael Smedel. Now, I'm believing that they're still under probation.
That's a good question. Or are they only under probation for 1 race?
I would assume they're under probation until the end of the season, but knowing Jimmy Allison. But we don't know. We need information.
We probably
Jimmy
should have
Allison,
checked.
Jimmy Allison, where's our info? We'll message Jimmy, it's fine. But either way, you say it looks nailed on.
Okay, sorry, this is to help Lewis and Aiden. Probation is only 1 round.
It's only 1 round.
Told ya.
There we go. Oh, Jimmy. at least he's listing us directly.
Did we just get slammed, or did
I want to put on my dunce hat Yeah, absolutely. The grid, by the way, heading round now for the feature race coming up. 45 minutes on the clock. And one of the drivers that promoted their way from server 2 up into server 1 on the pole position. It will be Miguel de los Rios. There is the grid. There is the DX droids 1, 2, 3. De los Rios, Sarah, and Ilias Fernandez with Timotei Antonovsky. That race-long battle. Antonovsky got through on Ilias Fernandez, and I wonder if that puts him in good stead for moving through. Maybe potential race victory. We'll have to wait and see. Turka Hakkinen in 5th place. Great drive from him. Wasn't able to get by Jordi Veers, who hanged on. Yeah, we'll go with it. On to the top 5 in the previous race with the 2 Zanchos behind of Ibrahim Khan and Luke D'Amelio. Then top 2 in the previous race, Philippe Capamajan and Smedo, Alan Terzic and Kasper Stolzer, 11th and 12th position for Jean Lacey Esports Academy. Juan Carlos Fernandez maybe feeling a bit left out there for DX Droids, considering where his teammates are, with Roy McDuff in 14th, Matt Richards and Vlad Tokarev 15th and 16th. Matt Richards will need to work his way up the order considering his championship position. Nick Jacobs 17th position. Paul August Lana, Dan Kell and Andrea Terzi inside the top 20, our 10th row on the grid. Dan Kell might be feeling a little bit hard done by in the previous race. Remedy Kopovic and Donat Prodan, our 21st and 22nd position. We are missing Mr. Jesper Eriksson, who was the now 8th driver, missing from the grid here in Split 1. Curiosity as to where everyone's gone, but regardless, we've still got a race ahead.
Yep, 45 minutes on the clock. Well, 45 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock, as the field is now just coming through the final chicane.
Yes, that's not as
no, that's sorry. That's Schumacher.
Nice work though. Sorry, I'm horrible. Jesper Eriksson, by the way, has tried rejoining the race. I don't think that's allowed. It doesn't mean anything because the game will. It's up to the game whether
he'll be a
it
lap down though if he does.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I don't think the game will allow him to do it. So I think that'll be a swift departure from the server. And Jesper Eriksson does join the 8 drivers. There you can see the field coming through. What are we expecting to see here, Aidan? Are we going to see the Ferrari with its superior straight line speed come through but maybe lacking in pace? Are we going to see Mikkel Smeedel move his way up the order? What are we getting here?
I think we'll have to wait and see what happens after turn 1 because anything can happen there. But then after that, I think Smeedel will probably end up on the podium at least by the end of the race.
Say, where's that bet for where Smeedel appears? I'm going with back-to-back wins.
Oh,
for Smeedel.
Now they're coming through the chicane.
They are indeed.
Yeah.
We've only had back-to-back victories in the Split 1 of GT Challenge once before, and that was our previous champion as well, Mitchie Hoyer, last season at Sebring. It's going to be a bit of work, though, for Smeedel to do it here. Oh, my goodness me. Look at that start from Timotei Antonovsky, who's already got up into 2nd position. Looking down the inside there as Miguel de los Rios has run away clear. There's definitely no communication there, so no one's going to get a talking to about that or even spoken of it. Antonovsky, though, up into 2nd position with David Serra trying to go around the outside. Look at that start from Jordi Smears again. 6th place now, trying to challenge for 4th on the outside of Ilias Fernandez. Already past Turka Hakkinen again, who must be huffing and puffing, thinking, my goodness me, I've got to stare at the back of this Ferrari again. Oh, I'm sick of it. We're on board with Jordi Smears not able to get by Fernandez, and he's going to hang on to 5th place. Miguel de los Rios, though, I said that Antonovsky might be a good shout for this, considering he did get by Ilias Fernandez. Maybe a little bit of a concern of a jump start, although I don't think so. I think it was just a poor start from David Serra ahead. Gets up into 2nd position, now 1 position to get through, and we know he can overtake round here.
Landanovsky's got unfinished business with this track because he was in GT3 Endurance at the weekend, the Sim Racing Club event, and he stacked it on the Nordschleife as the Ferrari tried to launch it inside the Zancho Corvette. There's a little bit of a tap on the rear
Rory
end.
McDuff, yeah.
But it's about 4 cars trying to fight for one little tiny piece of racetrack there, but everybody's through safely as we now don't ride on board as Nick Jacobs. Oh, that's a little bit of oversteering from the car behind. Oh, that's the Aston Martin, isn't it? Trying to go through the Schumacher S. Dirty air here, causing a little bit of an issue on the opening lap.
Oh my goodness. Roman Jukovic trying to get in there, does get around the outside of Dankel, who was not best pleased with Rory McDuff in the previous race. I did receive a message, but I can't read it out.
Was it all in Northern?
Very Northern. We'll go with that. Jukovic, that was a nice move. maybe a little bit too aggressive. There was definitely contact before the turn-in point. But either way, Blackwell Grayson's Porsche gets up ahead. Andrea Terzi now trying to get through. Dankel being promoted into this from split 2 in the previous round. Looked pretty good in the first race, battling it out with the Jean Lacey Esports Academy drivers and Nita Felix as well. Jordi Veers already moving up the order. Oh, Archie, here he goes. 4th place now for Jordi Veers. That Ferrari, every single time, Aiden, we get told it's rubbish. It can't do this.
Can we start calling sandbagging now?
It really is. I know it's not great around here, but still, like it's very racing.
That's a tardy start.
I think that absolutely confirms that it was 100% not a jump start, because you saw De Los Rios, who was in charge, you saw him move before Andonovski did. So I don't think there is any, at least from what I saw there, I don't think there's any question that was not.
I think it was more being squeezed towards the pit wall.
It was tight. It was tight. Here we go with De Los Rios. Let's watch Andonovski in the white and orange car. Nah,
yeah,
see nothing.
He's gone.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, it was just
terrible.
No reactions.
Oh my god, wakey. Oh wow. No one's going to be challenging Valtteri Bottas for that race start. God knows how many years ago.
It was Austria 2017, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
When everyone was saying, "Hey, jump the start." No, he didn't.
He
just
didn't.
got lucky.
he theoretically, for all intents and purposes, he kind of did, but he got lucky. The lights were out by so fair enough. I think they judged it as like it was too short for human reactions or whatever. They're definitely not challenging that here though.
No, that was didn't turn off the pit limiter when they were supposed to.
Or alternatively, you've turned off the pit limiter, but you're in first gear and you realise first gear is not that long, which is what I have done on more than one occasion. It's easy to do. On board with Turka Hakkinen trying to get himself inside the top 5, was denied all race previous in the sprint race. Near contact though between De Los Rios, just saw that into T1. De Los Rios nearly receiving a whack from Timotej Andonovski in behind. Oh, Alan Terzic has been round. Alan Terzic has been round at T1. Oh, and Rory McDuff's now on the inside of Kasper Stolzer as there's contact between the two of them. There's Alan Terzic dropping down the order. Rory McDuff and Kasper Stolzer.
Oh no!
Taking. Oh, they're. I think maybe Kasper Stolzer wants to be a Nita Felix driver again because he's trying to steal the paint back. Or maybe it's Rory McDuff wanting to join John Lazy. Who knows? They are definitely rubbing each other the wrong way here at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit.
Quite literally.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hold your breath, lads.
Isn't there 39 minutes of this?
Yeah, this is the thing, is that we can't... We spoke of how clean everyone was racing in the early 10 minutes of the sprint race, and then everyone started bashing each other. I think it's just a bit of a continuation of that. So hopefully we'll get 5 minutes of this, and then everyone will be back to normal. Right?
Yeah, there's less desire to force your way through the pack in a longer race, isn't there? In these sprint races, everyone's trying to get to the front as quickly as possible, and they just end up tripping over each other. But give it about 5 minutes, it'll settle down.
You say?
You hope. As a replay of Alan Terzic.
What's he done? Is he just spun it by himself? Oh my goodness me! Oh my goodness me! No! That's and dive bomb. Oh, Alan! Oh my goodness! That was a little bit sort of optimistic there from Rory. Adam Baldwin tried that in the Virtual Endurance Championship. Terzic now is going to be able to get by Matt Richardson to the final. That was a little bit too much there from Alan into T1, and of all the people to hit, it was his teammate. What's rule number 1 in sim racing, in motorsport?
Don't hit your teammate.
Exactly. Alan, come on, lad. We're on board with Paulo Gislano. We can see ahead Terzic on the inside of Matt Richards as they go side by side into the first corner. It could be good from Matt Richards to work all the way around the outside. It was Terzic trying to make the move on the inside at the final corner. And I think he may well just about try and complete this move. He's really got to send it into that final part of the arena section. I think the Welshman of Matt Richards might just hang on. He certainly does. A bit of a slide there from Terzic. Fair room given. And I think now Paulo Gislano working his way from the back of the grid up the order. Oh, really trying to go for a very tiny gap.
Oof. I mean, sending it is something that Alan Terzic doesn't want to keep on doing because, well, after last time.
Look, we've not got Le Mans on the calendar, so we're okay. We're safe from that one again. The between the four chicanes. There goes Terzic to the inside. That's nice. That's a nice move there.
Force Richards wide.
Oh, and it's also forced Richards to potentially be overtaken by the Volante Racing. Not
I
quite.
saw that. Cheeky flash. Oi.
I think he's been a little bit frustrated this round, does Matt Richards, after the damage in race 1 and then everything else. I think he may well just have a little bit of frustration on his mind at the moment. De Los Rios leading the way. Here comes Andonovski. This is where he got by in the previous race. And Ilias Fernandez has gone to the outside of the Vidal chicane. He's committed to it as well.
That is beautiful.
Oh, what a move from Timotej Andonovski. Oh, David Serra as well trying to get involved in this, and Jordi Zvi is going to try and get down the inside. Bravo to Drillers Esports. That was fantastic.
And here comes Jordi Zvi on David Serra down the pit straight. You think Jordi Zvi You think Jordi Zvi have this into turn 1 as he slams on the brakes, and oh, you've just punted your teammate. GG.
Oh. GG. Oh my goodness, Aidan. That was definitely a GG scenario. Again, rule number 1, what is it?
Don't punt your teammate.
And what do you do?
Punted his teammate.
There we go. That was a bit of a shame there, but half and puff. De Los Rios drops from the lead to second, and then from second to nowhere. That's a massive shame for him. Andonovski, though, leads the way from Jordi Zviers, who's now up at the second position. Potentially, for Jordi, looking for his second feature race victory of the season, if he can get there. And to be fair, wouldn't rule it out from the Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman, as it would be. Big slide there from Ilias Fernandez as well.
Serra and De Los Rios out of the race entirely now.
I'll try and grab a replay of that, because that is, I think he just snapped on the brakes a little bit, maybe caught it out on the, because it does curve a little bit there. There's a couple of bumps, and I think he might have touched the curb a little bit under braking, did David Serra. We're on board with Smeedle, working his way up the order bit by bit, although the last 2 positions he's gained, he hasn't actually worked for. They've just come his way. Ibrahim Khan, the only driver who was inside the top 10 that's behind him just on sheer pace, as he's the Wayne one that's dropped backwards inside the top 10 outside of that obvious instant that we just saw. D'Amelio's trying to counter Nita Velix's charge with Turka Hakkinen up inside the top 4. Turka Hakkinen is doing great things this season. This will get him inside the top 10 of the championship, and for a driver who coming into this I didn't think was going to be, I knew he was going to be good and stuff. He's really impressed me. He's been great money all season. Here comes Smeedle on the inside of Louis-Philippe Capamajan, the 2 drivers under probation in the previous round, not under probation now, a reminder to that. Louis-Philippe Capamajan as Ilias Fernandez and Turka Hakkinen. Ilias Fernandez well off the road. Turka Hakkinen trying to get through. He's now on the outside of what will be the exit of the arena section. Luca D'Amelio, though, fires it down the inside.
Slide.
He's going to grab 4th position. Nice little cut back there from Luca D'Amelio. Oh my goodness me,
Luca.
Turka Hakkinen. It was Turka trying to cut back in behind Turka Hakkinen.
Almost wiped out Smeedle.
That was terrifying. A little bit of flashing all the way around.
And here's a replay now. So this is David Serra's point of view of Timotej Andonovski. This is beautiful.
That is, I mean, to be fair, that's respect
trust.
to both of them. That is respect to both of them. That's respect to Andonovski. And again, I think a lot of the time we don't give enough credit to the passee. We only give credit to the passer. That was a good move from Andonovski. That was huge respect from De Los Rios as well. So
now watch
David
his
Serra,
rearview mirror.
David Serra tries to come across Jordi there a little bit, and there was contact between the two. And this is not easy to watch. Oh, yeah, he just gets way over the...
Oh, he didn't punt his teammate. Okay.
Well, he did. He definitely...
Oh, there
definitely got him. Yeah, he absolutely smashed him. He got too far over to the left-hand side. Smeedle, by the way, trying to get by Turka Hakkinen, backs out of it. Smart move there from Smeedle, not wanting to fight it up to the Vidal chicane. 1.2 seconds, the gap between the race leader, Andonovski, and Jordi Zviers in behind. 3.5 seconds off the race lead. This battle here, Fernandez, D'Amelio, Hakkinen, Smeedle, Philippe Capamajan, Ibrahim Khan, Stolzer, really Rory McDuff as well, part of it, who's on the back of Kasper Stolzer. Inside the top 10, it would be the best drive of the season realistically for the American, and for certainly a highlight for Nita Velix's season. No broadcast bias, by the way, but that was Nick Jacobs. He's up inside the top 15. It's either Scuderia Leone or it's
Yeah, because I was watching.
Sancho.
Oh, yeah. I was watching the rearview mirror, thinking, definitely got punted.
Yeah, that was.
It's very slippery. There's another popular racing sim where you can use all of that AstroTurf. Not here.
The thing is, it was a silly mistake from Damatera, but it is easy to do. He just went way too far over to the left. I don't know if he was trying to give too much room to Rory, or if he just to Jordi, or he just misjudged where he was in comparison to the race circuit. But it was his mistake anyway, and it's cost the team a hefty amount of points.
I can't really talk about wiping out my own teammate because I've done it to you, but
we'll bring it up every round. Brands Hats, T1. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard hit. Jordi's Veers can't believe his luck. By the way, Smeedle's got by Turka Hakkinen.
He's up to 5th.
Yeah, I don't think Turka Hakkinen. It was between the last two corners. I don't know if Hakkinen made a mistake or if he just
was looking for a way past Fernandez.
Yeah. Oh, Philippe Capmachan. Oh, he's committing. Oh my goodness! And then Turka Hakkinen tries to go for the cutback down the inside. They both skip the chicane. That was brave from Louis-Philippe Capmachan. I don't think I'd be trying that one, Hayden.
No. It's I haven't got the confidence to do that as Ilas Fernandez gets passed by Luca D'Amelio and biffed off the track.
That was and this is not a compliment, by the way, a Lewis Hamilton-esque move, because it's just like, we've got to the exit of the corner now, see ya. I mean, fair enough. It's fair enough. It's within the rules or whatever. I don't know if it is actually. I'm sure Jimmy Allison will say something about it. But it was a bold move there from D'Amelio. This is on board with Mikael Smeedle on the inside of Louis-Philippe Capmachan and how he got that move done at T1. I don't think you're going to see squeezing to the exit here. So look, more than enough room. Look at that white line. Miles to it. It's a good move that from Smeedle.
That's a very, very good move.
I think he's got a bit of a hard task though to do the double, being 5.5 seconds off. That said, he was half a second quicker than anyone else in qualifying. You wouldn't rule that out, would you?
He's too quick.
Well, respectfully, he's a GT Pro driver.
Yeah.
And this is it.
He will be at the end of this.
Exactly. Well, we would assume. Of course, for those of you tuning in to the rFactor 2 GT Challenge Series powered by VCO, the way the series works is, of course, we get our series champion. The top 5 in the championship, though, get an automatic promotion into the GT Pro Series with the big boys. That happens in between each round. Here comes Mikael Smeedle. Oh, he backs out of it, though. Again, playing it very, very smart. They could really have committed that for Ilias Fernandez, but backed out of it, thought better of it. Discretion, better part of valor and all that. But the top 5, they move up. Then there's a relegation race between 6th to 10th in GT Challenge, and then 21st and 25th in GT Pro, but that we get into another day. We focus on the top 5, though, that are getting that automatic promotion spot. And for our driver here, Mikael Smeedle, who's done fantastic stuff. Oh, Juan Carlos Fernandez. Yeah, not really. With Alan Terzic battling it out. 11th place. I don't think that would be quite the position that Alan Terzic thought he'd be battling in. I know he probably hasn't practiced too much for this event, and now diving it back down the inside. Juan Carlos Fernandez, Matt Richards as well a part of this. He's going to go for the cutback and try and get the double. Nearly well timed. I think he had to lift out of it a little bit there. Should be able to get by the Slovenian of Alan Terzic. These two up in the top 5 in the standings. They are up in those promotion spots. However, battling it down in 12th and 13th position, you're not scoring good points back there, are you?
No.
Willie Spears will be scoring good points against Mikael Smeedle, though, running in 2nd place. And considering this was a circuit where we were assuming that Ferrari would be pretty bad, and considering he's got quite a nasty headache as well, this is excellent, if you can call it damage limitation. Damage limitation. He's just lost a few temps, though, to Andonovski. I think he's made a little bit of a mistake there out of Schumacher or on the run down the hill. But yeah, for Jordi, we're expecting, realistically, based on the straight line speed of that Ferrari, we're expecting it to be quite good at Spa, our season finale at the end of the calendar year.
there's a lot of straight line speed required at Spa. So from La Source down through Eau Rouge, up Camel, and then from sort of Stavelot up to the bus stop chicane, as we see Smeedle looking ahead, coming into the left right before the long back straight.
So yeah, it was just a mistake from Turco Hacken.
Yeah. And, oh, okay. Drone.
I don't think that was the camera angle that Reba was going for. Oh, Louis-Philippe Capmajan! Oh my goodness me, Louis-Philippe Capmajan was trying to get by Ilias Fernandez. Mikhail Smeedle made that one stick, and Louis-Philippe Capmajan thought, I'm going to try and get both of you then. That was
that was almost.
It was almost carnage. That. Whoa. I mean, fair enough to him. Power to him. He got by Ilias Fernandez. I think that's Fernandez going, whoa, I don't want to be really a part of this battle. The top two in the previous race really working their way up the order, and Philippe Capmajan having his best round of the season. Can I say he did well in Portland? Not really. He got a lot of penalties.
He got a lot of penalties.
He did get a lot, but he did have podium in the first race, so that was his best round up to this point. This is the move then. Talk us through it, Aidan.
Right, so Smeedle's on the inside, heading up into turn one. Just, yeah, that's well, that's a dive bomb. luckily nobody was taken out.
It's times like that when you kind of like with someone like Louis-Philippe Capmajan, who has been in trouble on more than one occasion. This is on board with him. Let's have a look.
He's just slammed on the brakes way late.
Way too late. He kind of, I don't think he
almost used
intended,
him as a brake.
That wasn't his intention, right, to do that. I don't think he was like, because you kind of would have thought he would have. I think he just realised at the last moment that he'd committed too late on the brakes and tried to make something of it, because he was braking at his normal point because he didn't miss the apex, right? And so I'll back that up, that he did not miss the apex. He's still here. At the same time, though, you'd kind of think with a driver that's had that many penalties this season, you'd think twice before, like, how you judge one of those scenarios. Terzic and Richards battling it out outside of the top 10. If they work together, they could potentially catch the American of Rory McDuff on the back end of the top 10 and maybe get themselves some healthier points. Will they work together, though? Unlikely. It's impossible to see big picture stuff, isn't it, when you're on track? He says.
Yeah, you're just doing it on instinct, aren't you?
You do, but this is the thing: is that like I've seen touring. Like this is the thing. Even in touring car racing, it was like in touring car racing, it's just battle, and it's not. You've got to think. To be fair, in that kind of racing, you really have to think because the time is so short. It's crucial. You know, you've got to really think about: is this battle worth it? Am I going to lose time? It's why watching Kasper Stolzer and Matt Richards battle in the previous race was so frustrating to watch. It's kind of like you need to work together in a sense, not work together, but like just not battle.
Well, it's how Colin Turkington won 4 titles.
Literally, sit there and let everyone else do their thing. And, I'm in 4th. Right, fair enough. Because if you spend the entire race battling for, like with Alan, for 11th place, if you spend the entire race doing that, you can't really move your way forward because you're costing yourself a second here, a second there, a bit there, a bit there. Meanwhile, if you don't overtake, then you could be battling with each other for 7th place if you just sort of move your way up the order. Speaking of 7th place, Turco Hakkinen in that position, trying to get by Ilias Fernandez on the outside. That's a squeeze from Ilias Fernandez there. That is a squeeze. If I was Turco Hakkinen, I'd be a little bit cross by that.
And now Stolzer wants a piece of this. I don't think he's going to have anything. That'll be for track limits.
Indeed it will, and that is inside the top 15. 13th place, Paul Auguste Lana, after moving his way up the order. A penalty for him, courtesy of track limits. Easily done. Kasper Stolzer, a little bit late on the brakes, nearly opened the door for Ibrahim Khan behind. They are catching behind, by the way. Matt Richards, Alan Terzic as well. They are catching Rory McDuff. So I don't think a top 10 is out of the question for either of those two, especially whilst this lot all battle.
Yeah, just one little bit of contact can send someone spinning around, so everyone's going to have to be a little bit careful. You know, do you just go for the points or the safe points, or do you try and push for a bit more?
depends where you are in the championship, really.
That's
and
true.
And depends on how the round's gone. And I'd say for the likes of Matt Richards and Alan Terzic, you've got to go for what you can go for, because the thing is, the round has not gone very well. Meanwhile, if you're the likes of the man on the left-hand side of our screen, Mikael Smedel, you have that sort of, you can afford to almost be like, I'll do it when it's right. Because, you've scored plenty of points already, having a race victory. Your championship rival is only a position ahead, although that said, you'd kind of want to catch Jordi, because he is closing in on Timotej Antonovski again. He's got 22 minutes on the clock. Wonder if the Ferrari's tyres do kind of fall off a little bit. We've heard they do over the feature race, though we've not really seen it. They did a little bit at Sebring. Whether they do here or not, we'll have to wait and see. Turka Hakkinen's going to go to the outside on Elias Fernandez again into the chicane. Is there going to be a squeeze this time? He lifts out a bit before we even get there. The battle for the race lead, by the way, is around about a second. That isn't.
That's worth a penalty, possibly.
We'll have to see on the replay. Ibrahim Khan and Rory McDowell. I didn't quite catch it fully. But we are around about a second, though, by the way, between Jordi Zviers and Timotej Antonovski. Paulo Guslana comes in to serve that penalty, promoting this lot inside the top 15. Jakobovic defending from Dan Kell, working his way back up the order, considering he's got by, or Roman Jakobovic got by earlier in the race, like very early in the race. Dan Kell's literally just sat behind him and just been like, well, we're going to work our way up the order together, are we? Turka Hakkinen, P8. Oh my goodness, he got absolutely squeezed by Kasper Stolzer there, and he's now going to get passed by Ibrahim Khan and nearly his teammate as well. I am amazed he is not backwards. That was a good catch from the Finn.
Well, Finnish rally driving skills possibly saved him on that occasion.
Yeah, he should be used to going sideways. You won't find, actually, off circuit, you won't find many nicer people than Turka Hakkinen. Here's that move. I mean, they were just coming together. That's racing.
Yeah.
They just came together themselves. That was kind of 50-50. A little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a, not really a dive, but like just leaving it kind of where it's
that was a bit of give and take.
Yeah, it's very 50-50. Obviously, it would look worse from onboards and stuff, and I'm sure both drivers are like, he needs to get disqualified from the race. And obviously, it's not really kind of how it should be, but it's hard to race, and you need to take every advantage you can.
The thing is, though, you say things like that in the heat of the moment, and then you watch the replays later and go, actually, maybe that was my fault.
Yeah, this is why I get told that I shouldn't stream when I race. Who's that? Who's that? Speaking of that.
Block?
Well, it's Luca D'Amelio about to be overtaken by Mikael Smedel. And I think that, for the Italian, that position's pretty easy there for Smedel. He didn't fight it, did D'Amelio. Must be said. Pretty simple move there, and onto the podium for the Vargason Racing driver and our championship leader, Vlad Tokarev, nearly into the back of Dan Kell there. Donat Pradan as well, trying to close his way inside the top 15. This is with Turka Hakkinen and Kasper Stolzer. Talk us through this, Aidan.
So, Hakkinen's around the outside here and then tries to go back in the inside for turn 4, and it's just contact that just upsets the car and spears him inwards.
I think it was just a little bit, in my opinion, it was a little bit too much of a pinch. I don't know how you feel. I think it was a bit too much there from Kasper, but maybe Turka kind of shouldn't have been there because of the momentum in the corner, and who cares? They came together. That's all we need to get to in all of that.
Khan and Stolzer now getting very close into the hairpin.
And Turka Hakkinen's not far off the back of this as well. After that half spin, after that catch, he's also dragging a Rory McDuff, who closing in is Matt Richards' teammate of Ibrahim Khan. Turka Hakkinen's letting his teammate through there, maybe feeling the pace of the American a little bit better at the moment for Rory McDuff, maybe feeling a little bit of damage, although I believe, considering how ruffled up Rory's car is, I don't think it's in much of a better state. Oh, it seems all right now.
Not as bad as it was at Portland, but
yeah, no, actually, it seems fine. I take that back. I thought I saw in a replay it was ruffled up. I might have been looking at Turka's car. Well,
yes,
there is
Turka's car.
There is Turka's car. Touche. I take that one back.
Oh, he just went wide.
He went wide and then just backed out of it. He's like, right, yeah, this is your time to go through, Mr. McDuff. No rain today, so no McDuck. We're all right. We're safe from that one. And Ibrahim Khan not safe from. What is it? Is it a Massachusetts? What is it? If you're from Massachusetts, what's the name? Like if you're from England, you're English.
I think it's just easier to say Bostonian.
Bostonite or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to understand. We'll go with that. Juan Carlos Fernandez gets by and Andrea Terzi. Rory's not. He's got a very neutral accent, to be honest.
He's got a great accent.
Under a second, by the way, our race lead, Jordi Zveers, the Flying Dutchman, closing in on the Northern Macedonian of Timotej Andonovski, who, as you said, did not enjoy racing at this venue a few days ago, obviously on the Nordschleife.
Yeah, it's a track that's 14 miles shorter.
Yeah, that's it. Did not enjoy that. He's certainly enjoying his experience on the Grand Prix layout more so.
Saying that, he just got the tail out a little bit coming through through Warsteiner. But that Ferrari's getting ever so slightly closer now.
Certainly is. It's quite an ominous sight, and the thing is, for Jordi, he's closing a few. Oh, this is not looking so great for Andonovski now. I think the charge, he's done so well consistently to match Jordi, but once that gap started to come down, it's come down bit by bit by bit. It's under 0.7 of a second across the line. It's around 0.75 of a second. And the thing is, once he gets into the slipstream, the pace of that Ferrari when it comes to a straight line should mean an easy move in air quotes. There's no such thing as an easy move when it comes to the one for a race lead, but the pace of that Ferrari should mean that there should be a slight advantage in that sense. Ibrahim Khan trying to battle with Kasper Stolzer, unable to get through on one of those Ferraris, trying to go around the outside with superior grip, not able to do so, runs very, very far out wide. And now Rory McDuff's trying to get by on the Zancho Sim Sport driver, going for the undercut and back down the inside into the arena section, and that is not going to work. Good effort though.
Yeah, hugging that inside of turn 3 to maximise the exit for turn 4. And then down through 5 and 6. Dirtier can make the car slide a little bit, but a lot of banking on some of these corners, which kind of help to get the car to turn.
It's got a flow to it.
Yeah, it has.
And some people love it and some people don't like it. I personally used to like it, but I don't anymore. I don't know what it is. I just can't drive the Grand Prix layout. I just don't really enjoy it.
I like it, just not in a GT4. Because some of these corners, you just turn. Please, just turn.
It's very tricky. There's a lot of high curves around here. And here in the GT Challenge, there's a lot of high stakes as well when it comes to that movement into GT Pro. And obviously, you want to call yourself the GT Challenge champion. For Smedo, it's looking all right. For Jordi Zveers, though, he's trying to mount a late challenge in the season. Yellow flag out in Sector 2. What is that for? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. I think it might be Donat Prodan. It is indeed. Down in now 19th place, the Ferrari Volante car. Way down the order. Right, can Ibrahim Khan do anything about the Ferrari this time? Look at how close he is. We ride on board with Ibrahim Khan. He's in that slipstream. He is closing. He's going to try and look to the inside, but it is really covered off by Kasper Stolzer. He runs to the outside. He's going to commit on the brakes. Just not able to do so. Every single time he's doing it, it's just not working. You're driving yourself insane in that car, wouldn't you? Oh, sorry. Jordi is now within 0.3 of a second. I just saw it. There's Donat Prodan.
Yeah, just lost the rear end on the curb.
Easy spin. Easy.
Easy still on the high curbs. But, that is very close.
It is very close. Again, a reminder for us, when it comes to our top 2 in the championship, they came into this including a drop score, the top 3 in the championship if you really want to go to it, including a drop score, which we do have across the 6-round season. So obviously 3 rounds on a drop score doesn't really mean very much. But they were separated by a single point, the top 3. The top 4 were separated by 3. It was incredibly close. Mikael Smedo, Jordi Zveers, our top 2 in the championship with D'Amelio and Terzic. Terzic has not had a good round, so almost, I would say, write him off. But you do that at your own peril, but it's not looking so great for him. Luca D'Amelio's had a good round, had a podium in race 1, looking pretty decent in race 2. Jordi's Veers, though, he is a single point off of Mikkel Smith, including that drop score. With how things have gone this round, he is looking pretty strong to hoover up some hefty points. Had a podium back in Sebring, had a race win at Virginia just a couple of weeks ago, and looking to go for back-to-back feature race victories and maybe put pressure on the man that's won all 4 of the sprint race series, the sprint races across the series in season 2.
Well done at Prydan's got a penalty. That'll be for track limits as well. As the train just snakes its way out the final corner. Ibrahim Khan a little bit further back from Kasper Stolzen this time round. His option is to just fire it up the inside, but he's thinking about it. And he's going for it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, why did you do that? He's through, but
yeah,
I don't think Kasper's going to be very happy about that.
Would you be?
No, I'd be flashing him. I'd be flashing him pretty bigly.
Bigly.
For that. I'd be bigly flashing for that. As
Jordi. Still plenty of time left on the clock. We've got a third of the race to go, realistically, all things considered. So there's still plenty of time. It's under. It's close. It's past a quarter. It's fine. We'll roll with it. For Jordi, there's still plenty of opportunities. We're on board with Turkin Hakkinen, looking at the back of his teammate, Rory McDuff. Matt Richards, you can see on your relative there, has very much closed in. They said that if they don't fight...
Oh, Matt.
See you, Matt. Literally spoke about him once and off he goes. Commentator's curse, it's still not real. For Terzic, though, he's got through into 11th place. Said they'd catch them, though. Ilias Fernandez now picks up a penalty. There was another one. I think Donek Prodan had a penalty himself. Ilias Fernandez, who, by the way, that's a big one because he's 6th. That's a big penalty there. Ilias Fernandez picking up one on the exit of Schumacher. That's a massive one, considering he's driven pretty well all day at the moment in this race, in that 6th place. Now we'll have nothing to show for it.
It means Matt Richards will get his position back, but he'll want to try and get ahead of Alan Terzic again.
Let's have a look then with.
He's going to do it, Schumacher, isn't he?
Yes,
he's going to go way too hot. There we go. That's what did it. That's easy to do, though. That's very easy to do.
A slam dunk penalty. Here comes Rory McDuff on the back of Kasper Stolzer. We saw. So this is the thing, right? If you're in Rory McDuff's position, you have to learn. By the way, as they're still going side by side. You have to learn from Ibrahim Khan, right? And what worked for Ibrahim Khan. This didn't work for Ibrahim Khan, but it's definitely yeah, exactly. Literally learn what happened, what worked, and then try and do it yourself. Getting muscled off the circuit, that is going to work for Rory McDuff. He's going to be the inside into the next corner on Kasper Stolzer. His teammate's going to try and almost push him through. He wasn't quite able.
Contact.
He's trying to go for the gap as Kasper Stolzer closes it down.
Here comes
now
Terzic.
Looks down the inside. Terzic is well a part of it. Needs to develop message on Lacey Esports Academy. Oh my goodness me! Now coming back across. Turk Hagen's on the inside, coming into the Dunlop hairpin. Rory McDuff, good move, got it done. Oh, squeezing, contact there again as Kasper Stolzer. Sign him up to a touring car. He's got his elbows out.
I've got an opening at my team.
Yeah, exactly. Turk Hakkinen moves his way up into 9th place. Alan Terzic moves his way up into 10th. And now Matt Richards he's not quite close enough to challenge Kasper Stolzer. But either way, that's on the left-hand side of your screen, looking backwards from Turk Hakkinen into Alan Terzic's eyes. And on the right-hand side of your screen, the battle for our race lead.
Trying to see where Smeedle is in relation to that lead battle.
1.9 seconds off of the race lead. Alan Terzic to the inside of Turk Hakkinen. Oh, they're rubbing each other. Terzic does back out of it.
Turk Hakkinen penalty.
Yeah, there we go. That's at the chicane. That would be from them rubbing and then running over the track limits. Another penalty. Ilias Fernandez into serve. Here's Rory McDuff, moves up to 7th place. Fantastic drive from the American. I believe that would be his best drive of the season, because I remember he did quite well back in Sebring as Alan Terzic to the inside of Turk Hakkinen, who's got a penalty waiting for him anyway. And Kasper Stolzer as well trying to go through, although Turk Hakkinen comes back across him, opens the door for Matt Richards to sneak his way through inside the top 10. Oh, we're back to Virginia International Raceway standards, unfortunately, Aidan.
Oh, we were doing so well.
Maybe it's not quite that bad. Maybe we're just being cynical old farts. Who knows? I'm always pretty cynical.
Well, yeah, that's to be expected for you now, isn't it?
Yeah, Rory McDuff's best finish of the season was 7th, actually. So he's running on target at the moment for that. It was 7th in the feature race back in Sebring. That was one courtesy of a few issues, errors, and up and down the order, and certainly moved his way up at 3/10. Still separating our 2 race leaders, but Jordi Spears hasn't been able to do anything about Andonovski at the front. Turka Hakkinen still awaiting to come in for that penalty. Obviously, it was done through the chicanes. We didn't have time to come in and serve it. Expect that he'll serve it pretty sharpish, and that'll promote Matt Richards up another position.
Alan Terzic getting would probably have got a cut track for that as well.
And he's already got a couple. He's got to be careful. They've all got to be careful at this point because they're all closing in on it. It's at times like this where, as a driver, your only rule needs to be stay away from the track. You just literally keep it on the road and you'll be gold.
And let everybody else pick them up.
Precisely. You move your way up the order very, very quickly when everyone else has moved out of the way courtesy of penalties. Turka Hakkinen, is he going to come into pit lane this time? Yes, he is. Dives it straight down to the inside to serve that penalty for track limit excursions. Not the first one. Potentially with 6 minutes left on the clock. Not the last either.
That's put Matt Richards up into the top 10. So three of the 4 Zancho cars in the top 10.
Come on, Dan.
All of them in all of them in the top 15. No bias. As Fernandez and so the DX Droids cars have gone from the front of the grid to the back. That's not optimal.
That's what happens when you take 18, isn't it?
F.
It would be an F. Unfortunately, Kasper starts a Nick Jacobs, by the way. Great drive from him.
Yeah.
Thus far. No bias. Moving his way up the order. Now trying to get into the top 10.
Yeah, this is stay on track and let everybody else fall off. This is Colin Turkington levels of moving forward here.
+6 for him. +9 for Jukovic.
+7 for Smeedle. +7 for McDuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Smeedle could potentially go plus a couple more, because let's take a look at where Smeedle is on the road, and let's take a look at how much time's left on the clock. That is Mikael Smeedle. That's your 2 race leaders. What position is he in? 3rd. That is the race leader. You wouldn't rule it out, would you?
But it could just as easily become a DNF.
Yeah, all the time. But that's the risks we're running here in sim racing. You never know. But the speed that he's put on, I did wonder if he was going to be able to close that 5-second gap. He thought, yeah, don't worry about it, lads, I'll do it. Off he goes. Already got up to 3rd place. Nice work. Still not able to get through on Roman.
He is safe in this split though, so
absolutely
he can move forward at Indianapolis and Spa over the next 2 rounds.
He did say that Virginia wasn't his favourite racetrack, and certainly wasn't one he was expected to do well. And I don't think he was particularly expected to do well here at Nürburgring either. Yet still just cruised around. Definitely looked like a split one driver. To be fair, I think all of the drivers that have moved up, Delos Rios, I know obviously the issue that he had, but he's looked more than capable of being a proper split one driver. So, great to see. Kopovic. I mean, getting a better car. That's all I can say. Obviously, it's the whole what would happen if the likes of Kopovic, if the likes of Vlad Tokarev and Terzi, if they weren't in unfavoured cars.
Well, Hakkinen had the Bentley last season and was at the back of the grid every race, and
it's so competitive.
Now he's got a better car in inverted commas. He's had a penalty.
Yeah. Now he's got a better car. He's right up in
17th.
He pace-wise, he's been up there all day though, and realistically kind of should be. But yeah, track limits are track limits, and if you exceed them, you exceed them. There'll be one
it's
there
the same for everyone.
Jukovic. And it is indeed. It is the same for everyone. Everyone has the same amount of cuts. Everyone has the same track limits. You could maybe argue with Turka Hakkinen's it's a little bit unfortunate
that was because of someone else.
There was side by side. But the thing you have to argue though, did Terzic push him across the track limits, or was it just kind of a little bit of a rub between, and then maybe he gave a little bit too much room? I'm not here to judge that.
That's Jimmy's job.
I'm here to talk smack. On board with Unison Racing's driver, Vlad Tokarev. It's a shame that it's the only Aston Martin we've got.
I love driving that in for the 200 yards of Le Mans that I did.
I liked dragging it to 7th, 6th.
Interlagos?
Interlagos whilst doing the opera.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
We all
My claim
loved
to fame.
watching that on Twitch, clipped.
It's now DDF Races
donations.
It's donation or subscribe, isn't it? It's a subscribe tag or whatever.
The subscribe ones, he's in the fence, they're all in the fence.
Ah,
And then the donation is you
nice.
being Pavarotti.
Good lad. What a man.
He lives upside down now.
Does indeed. The Englishman now turned Australian. He's not got an Australian twang though to his accent.
No, he's got a northern twang. He's from
You've all-
Manchester.
You've all got northern twangs to me, mate.
Yeah. The north for you is,
Watford.
yeah.
Matt Richards. This is the thing is like if we're broadcasting to a lot of Europeans, they have absolutely no idea what we're talking about.
We keep losing them.
Yeah.
Better start talking in metric.
Let's refocus. Well, I mean, to be fair, you should always measure motorsport speed in kilometres. You know, I stand by that. You should use metric in motorsport. Right? No?
Here's Dan Kell doing 120 miles an hour.
No, don't say that. It just doesn't. I mean, look, the thing is with kilometres, the beautiful thing is that the numbers are bigger, so it looks like you're going faster. On board with Cal, still unable to make that move, still on the back. Mikkel Smidl, by the way, I think either he or Jordi just made a mistake at T1, just out of the corner of my eye. I just think one of them went a little bit wide, maybe giving a little bit of reprieve. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final lap of the race. So for Jordi, I said it's an easy move, didn't I? Shouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
I did call. I'm going to give myself major credit though, but I did call in the first race towards the end that Antonovsky was going to be quite good at this one. But,
He's done well considering he was losing all of that time to Jordi about sort of 5 or 10 minutes ago.
He's done very well to rebalance himself and to get back on it. Smidl charging his way up the order up to third place. Be the second time this season that he's had 2 podiums in a round. He did it in the first round of the season at Sebring, where he took race victory. Of course, he did in race 1. He's got all of them, and then finished second place in race 2. Second place to a Mr. Matt Richards, who's only just about inside the top 10. Other race winners this season, Alan Terzic and Jordi Zveers. We're about to see another one added to that if he can survive one final time in this game. By the way, Dan Kell has just got by Jakovic, so he has gone up into 12th place. It's only taken him 45 minutes, but he's eventually done it. That 45-minute time has been ticking down very slowly for at least 2 or 3 of these drivers. I think Smidl's had a good race coming up the order. They had a bit of fun, and third place for him will be well deserved. And same for Jordi Zveers, a bit of a slide there. But for Timotej Antonovsky, great move to get him into the race lead, and it is a race win for the Pinsim Jonas eSports driver, the Northern Macedonian Antonovsky, victorious here at the Nürburgring, a track he did not favour a few days ago.
Richard's penalty.
Richard's got a penalty. Oh my goodness me. I don't think this will count if he's going to serve it through there. I'm not actually too sure what is going to happen to Matt Richards here. But high drama, things go from bad to worse for Matt Richards. And it's been assigned to him a penalty. He is going to drop down to about 19th place.
Well, who was that that just got punted at the chicane? Is that Dan Kell?
Oh my goodness. Who was it who did it? Was it
Hakkinen, I think.
It was Turka Hakkinen. Oh my goodness, he's not having fun with the need to vote drive. He's lost a wheel as well. He's going to struggle. The rule is you've got to drag it back to pit lane. And Dan Kell's just lost a wheel there.
I think that was done in frustration.
Which isn't good. Not a good sign. Oh well, right. Focus on the positives. Antonovsky, race winner, Jordi Zveers and Mikkel Smidl podium. Luke D'Amelio with a third place and a fourth place. Great round from the youngster. definitely an up-and-comer, especially considering he just had 2 podiums back in Virginia. That's just one thing I didn't note. When it came to the first race for D'Amelio, it was 4 consecutive podiums for him. Philippe Capamachan in 5th place, Ibrahim Khan, Rory McDuff, Alan Terzic, Kasper Stolzer and Matt Richards. Oh my goodness.
That's the wrong way,
That
Tim.
is... I don't think Matt Richards will count inside the top 10 though, because that's done a little bit wrong. But yeah, Antonovsky there, celebrating, drifting a little bit wrong. It will be Nick Jacobs inside the top 10, because I don't think that's accounting for Matt Richards' penalty too well. Behind that, yeah, see, there's Nick Jacobs. So I take a position off. So Nick Jacobs is 10th, Jukovic is 11th, Vlad Tokarev 12th, Juan Carlos Fernandez, Ilias Fernandez in 13th and 14th, and then Andrea Terzi, great drive inside the top 15, literally just sat there waiting for everyone to fall off, and they did so. Paul Auguste-Lana, 16th place. Dan Kell does come across the line in 17th, although he'll be very, very frustrated after being escorted off the road twice by 2 different Nitro Velux drivers. Turga Hakkinen lowly down in 18th place. Matt Richards, after his penalty, will actually be 19th on my sheet, and then Donat Prodan inside the top 20. 2 retirements from the race. David Serra and Miguel de los Rios, after coming together at T1 earlier in the race, whilst battling it out towards the front end of the field. And the 23rd driver who's not on there, Jesper Eriksson, tried rejoining as a DNS when it comes to this race. All done here at Nürburgring, and what a drive it was from Andonovsky. We go to split 2 to see what's been happening down there. Moritz Mel, who is one of the drivers who's right up there when it comes to promotion, sorry, the other word. He came into this 4th in the top 5, so backing it up with what looks to be a pretty dominant victory. Looking good for him. Chris Shepherd as well, who took victory last time in Virginia, did get onto the server, looking to go for a 2nd place as well.
Just over 6.5 minutes remaining here. Seeing who else. Enamorado doing quite well up there in 5th. There's Georgi Nadev.
We've
been chased by IM Veltons here.
Yes, now Veltons, this is the thing. So whilst we join split 2, the reason why this is important, because it's important to see who promotes up in to a Division 1. The top 5 coming into this was Veltons. Now, for Veltons, this is pretty slam dunk for him. He came into this with a victory in the first race at Virginia, then finished 2nd in the 2nd race at Virginia after a great little battle at the end. He won the first race here earlier today and is now running in 4th. So in this period that is very, very important, he has 2 wins and a podium, and now what looks to be a 4th place. So he is going up to split 1, whether anyone doesn't like the Scuderia Leone bias courtesy of the broadcast or not. Great stuff, great drive from him. The other ones that are inside the top 5 coming into this, the man directly ahead of him, Georgi Nadev, who finished in 4th place in the first race, so he's also looking pretty good. We've got Giancarlo Velarde, we've got Veltons, Velarde, Nadev, Moritz Mel, who's leading the way at the moment, and Paul Holt, our top 5. It's all about where Chris Shepherd is in comparison to that. Alejandro Enamorado is quite far down, because I don't think he had a good Virginia.
I think he's just...
Oh, Paul
It's
Holt.
just... okay, that confused me, because it still said it was Enamorado when it went to that, and it just looks like that Paul Holt had a disco or something like that.
He's DNF from this race as Paul Holt, and he only had 7th place in race 1. That's not going to be good enough to move him up into split 1. So I think, based on his position in this race at the moment, based on the race victory, and he had a podium in the previous one, I believe Chris Shepherd is going to be making his way back up into split 1 after being demoted from the first section of the season.
Yeah, and all of his points carry over as well, so he'll have his original split 1 points plus the split 2 points he's accumulated
Accrued,
here,
yeah.
and then taken those back up. So Chris Shepherd might not necessarily be the bottom of the table when he comes up.
I think I wouldn't say he would have liked to have been demoted, but I don't think he'll be too disappointed with how he's been and how he's taken the relegation into split 2. He's certainly handled it well, moving his way back up the order. You can see the top lot is spread out quite a bit. Moritz Mel looks pretty dominant in this race. Started it from 3rd place after an 8th place finish in race 1. Has led, as far as we know, most of the way through. Currently leads by 5 seconds, and it's looking pretty strong over the final few minutes of the race. We've got a few more laps to go. I believe it'll be 3. Chris Shepherd in behind, Nadev, Veltons and Enamorado. The top 5 of that we ride on board with the rookie monsters. Merc, God, I'd love to see this.
The only Merc.
I'd love to see it in Split 1. He's not scored enough points, unfortunately, has Christos. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll be seeing this. But I'd love to see that Merc in Split 1. And this is obviously, again, a reminder, this is the last time we can get to Split 1 this season. Because it's only a 6-round season, so we only have 2 of these promotions. Because at the end of the season, we're all basically hitting the reset button with the exception of the top 10 in GT Challenge.
Keeps the competition fresh.
Certainly does. Keeps our grid spiced up, and obviously everyone looking for that transfer spot into GT Pro. And how fantastic it would be to be on a grid with drivers as strong as that. Certainly the big ticket prize is almost like the reputation of being moved up into GT Pro and being counted on what is effectively one of, if not the strongest series on rFactor 2 at the moment, of course being the rFactor 2 official series, powered by VCO Esports. Moritz Mel's absolutely dominating this one. Doesn't mean we're going to see 2 Go Team racing drivers, because Moritz Mel and his teammate Jorgen Dev means we're going to see a couple of M6s on the grid as well.
And a balance of performance might help them, as they will be brand new to Split 1, and the more different makes we get into each split, the better.
Yeah, but what are we losing cars wise?
Corvettes, I think.
We're losing Corvettes. I think
Porsche.
They're all Corvettes.
Oh, they're all
fantastic.
Corvettes.
We're trading some Corvettes for a couple of Beamers. Fantastic.
And a couple more Corvettes.
Yeah, but we lose like
we lose at least
we lose
5.
2 Corvettes, so it's fine. It's fine. We get a couple of Beamers on the grid. That's what we want to see. We want to see that nice. Like it's the one unfortunate thing, and obviously I say behind the scenes about how ripping to people about it, but obviously publicly I'm very nice about it. Not true. Obviously you're going to take the fastest car if you have the opportunity to do so, and that is whether it's even a tenth faster, 2/10, half a second, whatever. You're going to take
it's going to happen.
The faster car.
I mean, if the 720 was the best car, they would have all picked that.
Weird. That was last season didn't win the championship, did it?
Yeah, that was it was an Audi, which was
indeed.
As Valtez gets his Eurobeat on, goes for a bit of a slide. Yeah, the Audi that was so underpowered, so bad on its tyres, just awful in every way, won the first GT Challenge Split 1 championship.
And again, Michi Hoyer from that still holds the record as the only driver, and I believe it still counts in pro as well, if memory serves, the only driver to have won both races in an evening. I count this in Split 1 because I know it's happened in Split 2, so I know it's already happened elsewhere in GT Challenge. We're on the final lap of the race, by the way, as Alexei Kutsak is trying to defend from the Rookie Monsters driver, that Merc, the mighty Merc, on home soil. I don't believe it's happened before. It certainly didn't happen last season. I'm pretty sure it's not happened this season. Smeedle, who was maybe in contention to join the lofty ranks of Michi Hoyer, wasn't able to do it today. Will it happen? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen.
Unless something catastrophic happens at Indianapolis or even Spa.
The thing is, I think the Ferraris will be strong enough at Spa that we would expect to see at least 1 or 2 of the Jean Lacey Esports going to be drivers up there, right? Oh, going for the dive around the outside there. That's not going to work.
Nope.
Good effort, though. Speaking of good efforts, Moritz Mel, final chicane for him in a dominant display, booking his ticket into Split 1 after a fantastic evening. Had a great run in the previous round at the Virginia International Raceway. Didn't pick up a podium there, though. Does pick up one now. Takes victory here in Split 2, and that should be enough, obviously provisionally, to get him into Split 1. Chris Shepherd as well should be joining the ranks of Split 1 again. Same with this man, Jorgen Nadev. Arjen Veltons definitely is, considering how dominant he has been. And then the other driver joining them will... actually, that's a good point. Who's going to replace Giancarlo Velarde? Because he is out of the race. We'll have a look and see in a second as we see Alexei Kutsak come across the road. It might well be Alexei Kutsak. Where did he finish in race 1? P12. Not sure if that's good enough. P12 and then a P9. Don't think so. It's kind of hard to work out. There could be a fifth one though. It might be Alexei Kutsak. It may well be Mantis Rikas. Where is he in all of this? Oh no, he's not going. I think it might well be Alexei Kutsak in all consideration, Aidan.
I think Mantis Rikas is currently in YouTube chat. So it's
a good point. I haven't seen him in there. Oh. So there you go. We might get a Ferrari on the grid as well. There's
the results. Yeah.
So we might get a Ferrari to replace one of those Corvettes. We might have a bright grid for the final 2 rounds of the GT Challenge Series. Moritz Mel victory then for him. And we should see 2 Go Team Racing drivers inside Split 1. 2 BMWs as well. Melwin, Nadev, Shepard, Veltons, and potentially Alexei Kutsak as well. We'll obviously gather that up for you over the next couple of weeks. And a reminder that GT Pro is on in only a week's time as they head to Indianapolis, back stateside, penultimate round of the season. Who's going to be taking victory in the championship? Things are obviously looking very, very good for one Mr. Erhan Yayovsky. And is anyone surprised that Erhan Yayovsky's looking pretty strong?
No.
You do you. That's in a week's time, though. We head into December tomorrow. And so with it, we are approaching the end of the year rapidly. The 14th of December, we're back for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We go racing there for GTs the first time in GT Challenge. And then we head to Spa-Francorchamps, brand new circuit for rFactor 2 as we end the year. And we'll find out who is going to be joining those GT Pro drivers next season. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in Indianapolis. Until then, though, I've been Lewis McGlade alongside me, Aidan Millwood, and goodbye.